Given the scientific knowledge, the technical ability, and the materials to pursue the exploration of the universe. To ignore these great resources would be a corruption of a God-given ability.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
54 years. 54 years. We'll be back. We'll be back. We're going, man. We're gonna go. And it's going to be glorious. Thank you for the wake-up alarm. No problem. All right. So, I said I'd be on a little bit earlier to check out. You guys wanted to watch the Starfield extended gameplay trailer with me. So I said I'd be here for it, so here I am. Here I am. I said, if you got to be a shrimping boat captain, well, I said I would be your first mate, so here I am. I am a man of my word. But don't you be thinking I'm calling you sir. The Moonanites took over, and we never went back. Alright. The gameplay deep dive trailer. A lot of you guys have been wondering why I've been... Oh, it just picked up from the point we stopped watching it yesterday. You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, I know that. It's my boat. Jenny. Alright, so... You guys wanted to watch it, here you go. You want to figure out why I'm so hyped. It's 45 minutes, so sit back, relax. Then we'll do this and then we'll play Satisfactory right after. We have to start the factory deconstruction. Yesterday you mentioned being bummed that you bought into the sales pitch. What was the pitch? Just the pitch is the game, dude. Like, I didn't want to be impressed by this game. I wanted to be like, no, it's gonna suck, and I have to manage my expectations. With that being said, what I'm about to show you is making that very difficult. We have to redo a lot of things, Hypersonic. Yep. All right, here we go. Enjoy. I'm shutting up, dudes. I'm gonna shut up for a little while.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Bethesda Game Studios. You know, we've been so lucky over the decades to make the kind of games that we love here, and that's thanks to all of you. From the Elder Scrolls to Fallout, we love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do. And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new world, but set it in space, where you weren't really limited in where you could go or what you could do? And that is Starfield. Obviously, we've come a long way since then with the games we've built, our technology, and all of us here in the studio. We've done so much together, but, well, we've never tried to make a game like this. Today, you'll get to hear from many on the team and see so much of what we think makes our game special. So let's jump in and take a look. Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years. But it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through, where you step into a new world and you get that feeling of unlimited possibilities. But this time, it's not just one world.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
It's over 1,000 worlds. Because the choice of where to go, it's not ours, it's yours. And it wasn't until now that we had the technology to create it. From the rocks at your feet to the mountains in the distance, to the people and creatures that live in these worlds. That isn't just a backdrop. That moon is actually there orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too. We realistically simulate the galaxy around you. Our next generation lighting model uses real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere. We also have an all-new animation system. And of course, you can play it in third person, and you can play it in first person. We love exploration and rewarding it, but you do explore differently in this game given its scale. That usually involves exploring an area you've landed in. You can collect resources, do a mission, and maybe even stumble upon something unexpected. We do love stuff and all of the items allowing you to pick everything up, and you can view all that in your data menu. This is the hub for everything you're doing, from your skills to your ship, your missions, and your inventory. We love to pack a ton of detail in every object, from all of your weapons, to spacesuits, to food. We just obsess over the details, and food. We obsess over food. When you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We have companions and crew you can take with you. I left Vasco here back at my ship.
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
And he can even say your name. Let's head out.
Our mission was to convey the wonder and majesty of space exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's that contrast. That's where the visual interest is. Obviously the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style, and then Punk, which is all about style.
You can see that visual style coming through in your ship. Your ship is your home for you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our game, it has a slightly retro and analog touch, a bit of lo-fi rather than sci-fi, where everything is well used, worn, and lived in.
Alrighty. What's the plan, Captain?
This is your star map. It starts with the planet you're currently on. You can see all of its info and resources. You can choose a landing spot or fast travel to known locations. Backing out further, you can view all the planets in the system. Obviously, the game is big, and it's here you can see planets that have key locations, missions, or life on them, versus the many planets that are barren but resource-heavy. Zoom out even further to see all the systems in this part of the galaxy. Here, you can plot a course to ones that are light years away. This uses your ship's grav drive to fold space and jump to these systems. And you will need to upgrade your ship and skills if you want to jump to the most distant ones. But for now, we'll plot a course to the Alpha Centauri system, where we can find the city of New Atlantis.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. You are cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
soon as you land in a city like New Atlantis, your eyes are guided upwards to just these boundless, vast buildings.
It's the biggest city we've ever made, not just in size, but also in the amount of custom art, crowds, and quests.
So the main focus when we're designing a city is obviously what supports the story. We try and tell as many small stories as possible.
This is a Colony War memorial.
It's a few moments of gameplay that make the space feel like it's full of real characters that are going about their day-to-day lives.
It's paralyzing if you really stop and think about it.
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also where your adventure with Constellation begins.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the time you meet them, Constellation is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're the last true explorers in the galaxy, and they're trying to find the answers to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. The artifact, if you could place it on the table here.
Oh my god, look at how it's coming together.
That means there's a set built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the ex-soldier and adventurer, now Constellation's leader. Mateo, the theologian who believes that there's definitely something else out there. Noel, the gifted scientist and Sarah Morgan's protege. And Walter, a very successful businessman in the settled systems and Constellation's financier.
Anything goes as long as you have the money.
There's also Vlad, the ex-pirate, Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
You know what I hate about these pirates? Completely resistant to my otherwise irresistible charm.
The journey you take with Constellation is just the first of many you'll embark on. The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
The United Colonies is where you'll find New Atlantis, the first major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity. They consider themselves the true children of Earth.
You ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, even get your UC citizenship?
New Atlantis isn't the only city within the United Colonies. The city of Sidonia on Mars to this day serves as the largest mining facility for the United Colonies. Beyond the United Colonies' reach, you might find yourself in a much more wild and independent coalition of star systems. This is Freestar Collective Space. The capital of the Freestar Collective is Aquila City.
The Stone Root Inn is an Aquila City fixture.
A ranger relies on judgment and intuition to do what's best for the people.
Neon started out as a fishing platform, but is now known throughout the settled systems as a pleasure city, where almost anything goes.
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
Ryujin is hiring the best and brightest of today for our future tomorrow.
Everyone has been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Try not to get yourself killed, all right?
Outside the bounds of civilized space, there are still plenty of unclaimed systems to explore, but these areas are also home to the most hostile factions in the galaxy.
The great serpent hungers. All heathens shall be made dust in time.
A new face. Is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile?
They think the galaxy is theirs. They are wrong. It belongs to the Crimson Fleet. It always has.
In Starfield, we're pushing our cities and settlements further than we ever have before. It's all there, waiting for you. A slice of humanity's future.
So, ready to get out there?
Throughout the galaxy, there are so many things to see and stories to experience. But the most important story is the one that you tell. I'm the type of person who spends hours in character creation, and I think people are going to be really excited when they see all of the improvements we've made.
One of the biggest overhauls was done through our character generation system. We scanned a wide range of faces from different age groups and ethnicities, and by mixing and matching out that data, we were able to create highly detailed and diverse characters.
We use that exact system to create all of the characters and NPCs you're going to see in the game. So any character you see almost always is a character you could make yourself.
Snap out of it!
Hey, come on, come on. Okay, take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are? New recruit for Argos Extractors? Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
You start your character creation journey as though you're cycling through employee records. You'll pick from a lineup of 40 presets, and that'll be your starting point. Your journey from there can be as detailed or as quick as you want it to be. This new system has more to offer than ever before.
It's also the simplest character generation system we've ever had. We let the player get as close as possible to make whatever they want. With the various facial morphs you can blend together, the dermesthetic and makeup, blemishes, scars, piercings, teeth settings. It's a lot, but I think it's the most fun to use.
Character creation is more than just how you look. This is also where you start to decide who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in. Backgrounds give you a bit of backstory and start you out with 3 basic skills.
From chef to dusty. You know, the crew still has a betting pool about which restaurant critic you must have crossed to wind up here.
What's great about backgrounds is you never know when yours is going to come in handy. You could be in the middle of a fancy restaurant talking to some guy, and suddenly you learn he needs a beast hunter to help track down a monster.
Fine. I probably should stick to professionals anyway, given what happened the last time.
We're also giving you the option to customize your build even further by letting you pick up to 3 traits. Traits are completely optional, and they come with their own advantages and disadvantages. You could choose to meet your biggest fan.
By Vectera! Is it really, really you?
He'll join your crew, and he'll give you gifts, if you're willing to put up with his constant commentary.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every molecule.
My favorite trait is kid stuff. You have to pay some credits to support your parents, but they're very sweet, and it's really fun to go visit them.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor.
Oh my god!
I came across some hostile zealots in space, but because I had chosen a trait that made me the same religion as them, I was able to get by without any issues.
There's another great one that gives you a damage buff when your health is low, but mercenaries will randomly show up and try to kill you. No matter what you choose, there will be plenty of ways for you to tell your story. And if you want to remove a trait, there are ways to do that too.
What a view! It's a feast for the eyes. Off we go to another adventure.
We'll let you discover that on your own.
Once you've built the perfect character, that's when your journey can really begin. We took what we loved about skills and perks from our previous games and put them together to create an all-new skill system. Each time you level up, you get a skill point, which can be used to unlock or rank up skills. Ranks are unlocked by completing challenges associated with that skill. Challenges become increasingly difficult as you work your way to higher ranks. With our 5 different skill trees and 4 ranks per skill, there's a lot to choose from.
I like the xenosociology skill because it lets you mind control aliens.
Boost pack out of the gate. I'm boost packing everywhere.
I like maxing out my physical tree so I can get neuro strikes and just punch my way through combat. That one's a lot of fun.
Invest in the skills that suit your playstyle.
I'm very much a stealth player. So, I'm out there pickpocketing everyone. My favorite part about being stealthy is slowly creeping through vents like you're in a movie, and then jumping out and springing on people.
Whenever possible, I like to talk my way through situations.
This area's off limits. Fine, I'll issue you an access card.
I'm more of a run and gun player. I like doing the death from above thing where I boost pack over guys and I throw landmines at them.
Take him down! Move, move, move! You're gonna pay for that!
I like blowing stuff up. Exploration is a key aspect of all our games. In Starfield, there are full star systems with new life, resources, and adventures. Our team worked hard to strike a balance between fun and realism. We studied data from NASA and a multitude of other sources to help us make the world feel believable. From the way we approached planetary atmospheres to the way we placed biomes based on the planet's distance from the sun. Once we had created a grounded world, we could start looking at all the things that make that world fun. When you leave a planet and head into space, you'll be navigating asteroid fields, having chance meetings with interesting strangers, dogfighting in space, and exploring derelict ships. It's all out there. Ultimately, it's about rewarding your curiosity, because whether it's on the surface of a planet, the alleys of a city, or the vastness of space, you never know what you'll find.
Space exploration is possible thanks to your ship. Your ship is almost like having another character or home you can make all your own. I think you'll be blown away by the amount of stuff you can do. You can buy a ship.
I'm sure you can find something you like.
Customize and upgrade that ship. And hire a crew to keep it up and running. And it all starts in spaceports. Every spaceport has a ship technician where you can purchase, sell, and modify ships.
Anything I can help you with?
Maybe you start off with a speedy fighter that's perfect for bounty hunting. Then you might round out your ship roster with a hulking space freighter to run cargo missions, or even do a little smuggling. For now, though, we're going to take our starting ship, the Frontier, and make some changes. You can customize and upgrade everything you see here, and you have two ways to do that. You can quickly upgrade individual systems like your weapons or shields, or you can deep dive and enter the shipbuilder mode. Here you can change anything, from the systems to the look and layout. Adding a new habitat module can give you more room for crew. Adding cowling can change your ship's overall silhouette. An improved grav drive allows for longer distance space jumps. You can even fully customize your paint job to get the exact look you want. The parts you choose to build with don't just affect your ship's stats. They'll also affect what you can do inside your ship. You can have modules for crafting, or for storing and displaying your weapons. Starfield's in-game ship manufacturers bring their own look and feel to every piece of your ship. From living quarters, to cargo holds, mess halls, and control rooms. Our modified Frontier is a practical ship, but with a little creativity, your ship can look like almost anything you want.
It's a bit odd, but one of my favorite ways of customizing ships is I make them look like animals. The HMS Platypus, as I called it, where it had a giant tail to it. And we've done spiders, we've done mechs. So it's really whatever your imagination is.
And while you can build your home among the stars the way you want to, you're probably not the only person who will call your ship home.
Ready to lift off when you are, Captain.
Engines ready.
The Frontier is fueled and ready, Captain.
Some of the members of Constellation can join you on your journey. These companions can serve on your crew, and they'll always be there when you travel.
We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry.
Each companion comes with their own valuable skills for your ships and outposts, as well as unique quest lines. Eventually, some friendships might blossom into romance.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone except you.
And if you're looking for a little extra help on your ship, you can always hire additional crew at spaceports.
Got any room on your ship for someone like me?
You'll also meet potential crew members out in the world.
Still think there might be a spot for me on your ship? I gotta get off this rock.
Assign crew to your ship or outposts, and their unique skills will affect how they run. And just like companions, most crew members can lend a hand in the field. Take Bosco, for instance.
He's designed around the core basics of a NASA machine.
Please avoid getting shot. You might die.
I still wanted to give it almost a humanoid personality, so I elongated the limbs. This tends to make him feel more human-like and give him a little personality.
It is a shame exploration requires so much bloodshed.
Using the shipbuilding tools and crew selection features in Starfield, you'll be able to build and captain the ship of your dreams. And now, let's take to the sky.
We're putting you in the cockpit of your very own spaceship and telling you that you can do pretty much anything. And that is really cool for us as developers. Spaceflight should be exciting and dangerous, and you should feel like you're in complete control every step of the way. We've extended that sense of control to ship combat. It's not about just hitting your triggers to fire your weapons. It's a complex dance between your piloting skills and our power allocation system. Boosting power to your engines will make your ship faster. Powering up the ground drives will shorten the amount of time it takes before you can make a jump. And moving your power to your weapons and shields means you're ready for a fight. You should always be on your toes because you're not alone out there. Unlocking the targeting control system skill will allow you to zero in on specific subsystems of the ship you target. After destroying an enemy ship, you can loot the remains from your cockpit. You can always turn any ship that engages you into scrap. But you can also take a more personal approach by docking with the enemy vessel and boarding their ship.
Once you've taken control of an enemy ship, it's yours. Add it to your fleet and retrieve it at any spaceport. But space is way more than fighting for your life. Just like when you're planetside, there are plenty of sights to see and stops to make on the way to your next adventure. Like these massive star yards. Walk the halls, talk to the crew, maybe get talked into buying a whole new ship.
A civilian in my star yard. Let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you.
Maybe you'll dock with a gigantic battleship, like the UC Vigilance. Or rub elbows with the galaxy's wealthy elite on a cruise ship fit for the stars. There are plenty of personal encounters to be had as well. You can hail any ship you come across to trade, swap info, or maybe even commit an act of piracy.
Let's do this.
When I'm playing, I generally go crazy. I definitely go like the more piracy routes. I want to take over ships. I'm going to board ships. I'm like, this is now mine. I steal all the sandwiches and put them, in my cargo hold that I have specifically for sandwiches. I don't want to play the hero, but I want to go out and just start taking things from people as quickly as possible.
Some strangers might be looking for a little human connection in the darkness of space.
Hello, stranger. I just finished cooking up some food. If you want to come on over, just pop on by.
Some of the best moments are the ones you discover on your own. The thing I love most about Starfield is that it is a Bethesda game through and through. It's really about going to strange new places, meeting interesting people, and getting sidetracked on zany adventures. Then realizing 2 hours later that you're involved in a completely new story.
You're human. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
That DNA is so present here. It's in our random encounters, it's in our handcrafted quests, and it feels so cool to play it and just make your own path in this universe. There are over 1,000 planets out there, just waiting for you to visit. We want you to feel like explorers, breaking ground on new planets, exploring every inch of a mostly untouched galaxy. We want you to feel hopeful. We want you to feel this sense of awe and wonder, and sometimes a little fear. We're giving you a massive playground and a ton of toys, and just setting you free.
Hey everybody, we've shown you so much stuff, but we thought we'd just take a little break and show you something a little bit different. We put so much detail into our game worlds, and we love the opportunity to bring that into the real world with our collector's editions. And for this game, we've done a watch. It is the Constellation Explorer's Watch. This is the watch that you actually get in the game that acts as part of your HUD, where it's the compass and then environmental information. It connects to your phone to give you notifications and other information. And we've also designed this really cool case that it comes with, Istvan.
Yeah, we really took as much care and designed this case as we did the watch. Our attention to detail in the game totally translates to this. Inspired by the cases that the astronauts used during the Apollo era to bring back samples from the moon. It's got an intricate locking mechanism, authentic, heavy, comes with a Constellation patch, native strap, and the overall functionality and believability of this as something that would exist in the world, in the Starfield universe.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there, and it even tells the time.
We actually have something else. Now that we're part of Xbox, we get to work with the amazing people on the Xbox hardware team, and together we have created this custom limited edition Starfield controller. It's awesome. It is now, our favorite controller.
We love this because it's inspired by the actual controls of your spaceship. And not only that, we've created the first ever custom headset with Xbox. And this is a perfect pairing with that controller.
Control, this is Constellation Starship Frontier. All ready to start on your signal. Steady till ready. Coordinates input. Plotting jump course. Guidance has
In every one of our games, we always put so much care into all those little details that breathe life into our worlds. But Starfield isn't just a Bethesda Game Studios world, it's a Bethesda Game Studios galaxy. So why go this big with Starfield? Because we want to give you freedom on a galactic level. The freedom to experience both the exciting planets and the quiet ones. Scanning a planet before you land is a great way to get a sneak peek at the available resources you can use for crafting, building, and customizing.
I think what's cool about this whole system that we generate the planet itself as a procedural content, but the handcrafted content itself comes as the player explore. Our system builds a planet as the player approaches it. We stitch together a block of terrain. After that, we have the system that adds interesting locations for the player to explore, creatures to encounter, ore and plants to pick up. It allows us to add that touch of environmental storytelling that Bethesda is known for.
Aggressive creatures have been disrupting our experiments. Their habitat isn't far from here. If you could take care of them for us, we would be in your debt.
So even if your friends were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
It's completely up to you how you want to interact with each planet, whether you want to explore and see what you can find, harvest resources and be on your way, or simply take in the views. With the help of your scanner, you'll chart the uncharted and discover exotic wildlife.
If you have the skills, you can even figure out that certain creatures and plants, you can build an outpost and produce resources from those plants and animals. You can get experience and rewards for fully surveying planets and fully surveying a whole system.
When we were concepting these creatures, we really wanted to think of them as natural to the environment. We didn't want alien monsters, we wanted native wildlife. Something you've never seen before.
When it comes to our exteriors, when the sun moves, all that light is calculated in real time through the atmosphere. Our biggest goal for lighting with Starfield was to make the game feel more filmic, to use lighting and color to really make it feel more cinematic.
After some exploring, you can find a spot to set up a base camp. Outposts can be built almost anywhere on any planet. And the habitat modules come in all shapes and sizes, filling all different purposes. You can even live in them. Assign crew and companions to work at your outposts for added bonuses and set up extractors to harvest resources while you're away.
Something cool we have this time is we have a new fly cam where you can toggle between on-foot building, or you can now use a top-down isometric camera, which helps plan out larger parts of the outpost and placing those larger halves. So that way you can really plan your structures and what the overall feel of your outpost is. And then when you're on your feet, you can really decorate and fine-tune things much easier.
Add crafting and research stations in your outposts to utilize any resources you find or already have.
Mod your weapons to adapt them to your playstyle. Different weapon sights and scopes, larger magazines, a selection of grips and barrels, different ammunition like explosive rounds. All you stealth players out there will surely need a suppressor. You can also choose to go hands-on with melee weapons.
I think it's always a delicate balance between like what's realistic, what's sim, and what's Hollywood. And I think we sort of err on the side of like what's fun for the player.
With Starfield, we've completely overhauled our combat. It's more dynamic, the animations are more fluid. It just feels great.
We probably have more mods and more weapons in this game than I want to say any other game we've done before. There's a lot of variety.
Upgraded gear is just one of the many factors to pay attention to when engaging in combat. You may need to switch things up based on your environment. Gravity is different for each planet, and boost packs are excellent for getting around. And for giving you an edge in combat. Sometimes you'll even feel like you're flying. Zero-gravity environments pose a different challenge. Firing a ballistic weapon in zero-G will actually push you backwards. Energy weapons, on the other hand, offer a more stable shooting experience.
We also have mag weapons. These are high-powered electromagnetic induction ballistic arrays. Each barrel has its own targeting laser and can dish out some serious damage. Whether you want to get up close and personal with your own two fists, or you like more compact weapons like pistols and submachine guns, or maybe you prefer something bigger. Starfield's got you covered.
Thanks again for being with us today. We are just so grateful that you've taken the time and spent it here. I know there was probably a lot to take in. There's a lot to the game, even more than we could show here. You know, as we play it, we're always sharing these unique and special moments that only a game like this can bring. When I think about what makes it special, it really is the people here. This game is a reflection of the incredible and passionate team that made it. All of them putting something special of themselves into it. So let's hear some of their favorite moments.
I love the way that our final combination of all the new tech has come together to create some of the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises we've ever had in any of our games.
I love the creatures, the exploration, every biome is different. The word that comes to mind is vast.
I like to use our photo mode to take rock star photos.
I just love that constant feel of discovery and, wow, I can't believe that there's more here.
I'm most excited about our outpost building systems.
My favorite part is every time you step out on a planet, it's a unique experience.
You spend all this time building your ship, and you see it on the landing pad. These things are gigantic. It's the kind of thing that you just can't get anywhere else.
There's something about seeing a tower over in the distance and going, I know the gravity's low here. I think I can make that jump.
My favorite part is biomes, spaceships,
audio design,
planets, the day-night cycle.
Those details matter to me.
Diplomacy, exploration, freedom, the ending.
Beskar, obviously.
I love the robot so much.
The incredible amount of worlds we created.
Sniper rifles, come on.
Lever action, rocket launcher.
Brain sprout. I laugh, but some people might find creepy. I don't know. I know it's right, Ben. The thing that I enjoy most about the game is the freedom to be who you want to be, do what you want to do. It's what you've come to expect from a Bethesda title, but on a much bigger scale.
On behalf of all of us, we can't wait for you to play Starfield and make your own special moments.
Late engines go. Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm not doing that. I'll buy it. You guys don't have to.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Trust me. I'm gonna play it. I'll play it. You guys watch me. Oh. Dude. Hey, Jim. 97-month resub. You'll appreciate this. I'm not... Put the cookie down. Put the wallet down. GameStop in Colorado still has the Halo 3 window mural up from 2007. Awesome. I appreciate that. Absolutely. I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. It looks good, dude. And I hated it. Like, trust me. I was in on the 76 fiasco. I actually noticed that at the very beginning when they're talking about we have a lot of past games. Look, you want to see something funny? I noticed something funny. Check this out.
The Fallout. We love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do.
Watch.
And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new long today since then?
Okay, look. Watch. Watch that shot of when they go past all the different games.
Space,
watch.
Where you weren't really limited in where you could go or what you could do. And that is Starfield. Obviously.
Watch where they cut the camera. You got Oblivion, great game.
We've come a long
Fallout 3, absolutely amazing.
Way since then with the
Fusroda
games we've built, our technology.
Oh, Fallout 4. Wait, why did they? Wait, why'd you cut the camera? Wait, why'd you cut the camera after Fallout 4? Wasn't there something else after that?
Starfield. Obviously, we've come a long way since then with the games we've
built.
Wait,
why'd you? Oh! That's awesome. Oh, they cut it out. Oh, that's funny, man. That's pretty good. Write it out of the history books. Yes. No, not that one. Yes. Dude, I saw a couple of other things in here. I bookmarked in my head 3745. I saw something in here. Oh, yeah. Here. So, what's an Apple II doing in there? Did you guys notice that? I noticed there's an Apple II chilling on the desk over there.
It's much easier.
They show here. They show it again when they're talking about base
and what
building.
the overall feel of your outpost is, and then when you're on your feet,
That's an Apple Mac? Yeah, actually, yeah, Tessa, I think you might be right. I'm not too good on my vintage computers. What's that? That looks like a SpaceX recovery vessel. It's not, but it looks like it.
And really decorate and fine-tune things
Yeah, see?
much easier.
Like an old Apple computer right there. Apple II was more like an old school desktop.
For added bonuses and set up extractors.
Dude. So, interesting thing, fellas. I remember talking about Fallout 76 when that came out. And I looked, and we somehow got information that Bethesda had hired a bunch of Star Wars Galaxies developers. Original OG Star Wars Galaxy developers. And I was like, oh man, Fallout 76 is going to be sweet. Because the original team that made Star Wars Galaxies was awesome. Because if you played Star Wars Galaxies pre-EMU, it was one of the best MMOs ever made. And no, I will not be taking questions on this. So I had thought at the time that they poached the SWG, the OG SWG dev team from Sony for Fallout 76, but they didn't. They didn't. That's Star Wars Galaxies to a T. Going out, surveying planets, harvesting resources off that planets, building outposts on planets. That's Star Wars Galaxies, right there. That's where they got the idea. That Nighthound, you said it in chat if you're still here. This is SWG. That's awesome. I'm totally okay with this. Because honestly, the spaceflight combat looks exactly like the Jump to Lightspeed expansion for Star Wars Galaxies. It looks exactly like it. Yeah, settlement needs your help. Yeah, unbelievable. What else did I see? I saw a couple of other things around. Also, lever action rocket launcher. When they talk about the developers at the end, I saw some things. I gotta find it. I paused it for a second, but I saw somebody there that's definitely ex-Pixar. So no PvP, right? I think this is just an RPG, dude. I'm telling you, this plays like Star Wars Galaxies. It plays like SWG-EMU. Also, there's flying NPCs. I don't ever remember flying NPCs in Fallout, but I know they were in Skyrim, so. It was Alleviate. That's what I noticed. That's cool. Render shots. Also, that guy has literally a model of the gun that he modeled on his desk. But that's the guy that likes punching people. But also, he has a model of that submachine gun on his desk. There were vertibirds. That's right, that's right. How vast is it? Apparently you can go to, like, 1,000 systems, they said, I think. And some of them are unexplored, some of them are uninhabitable, some of them are low grav. 1,000 planets. Okay, cool. Yeah, this reads Star Wars Galaxies all day. I'm telling you, that's very strange. Poor guy, they forced him to model guns, not fists. What's on the desks here? Anything? Couple of sine waves there. I'm just looking around, guys. I haven't really, like, looked into this too much. There's Jupiter. Motorcycle with a sidecar. That looks like a Ural motorcycle. Can we draw on the whiteboard? I don't know. It seems like they got a compound there, I think. I think that's what that's called. What's the equation? I'm nerding out. Leave me alone. X something square root of 1 squared over nothing. Is that pi times... Wait, what's that? Pi times division? Or pi divided by division times x times... Okay, that's just scribbles. That's not a... That looks like the forehead of a Kerbal, by the way. Drew the smiley face right here. X gonna give it to you. That's right. That's absolutely right. It's future. Yeah, of course, of course. So they're definitely using a lot of environmental fog for optimization here. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. If you have a planet that has a lot of gases in the atmosphere, this is in real life now, that gas will get diffused like this. Good example, we're seeing a small kind of glimpse into this type of phenomenon with the wildfires. If you're in Canada or in the United States, if there's more gas in the atmosphere than normal, fumes, it looks like this. So they seem to be using it for optimization, which is good. The point that I'm trying to get at is that the world seems like it's a lot bigger than it usually is. Like, usually compared to like Skyrim or Fallout or whatever. The shipbuilder is... yeah. I'm screwed. Yeah, no, fellas, I'm not saying buy it. I'm not shilling for Bethesda after Fallout 76. I will say this game looks really good. This is all a lot of gameplay footage. It is not rendered footage. It's gameplay. Why is there a BMW logo on that ship? That is literally a BMW logo. That's weird. Yeah, Canadian, most likely. You said that about Starbase. You played it 5 times and haven't played it since. I can be wrong about things, drummer. Because it is a BMW. No, you must need the subscription for the bullets or something. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying to look around, see if there's anything in the backgrounds. That thing's cool. I like that guy. That guy's cool. Did he say brain sprouts? Out. Yeah, I don't want none of that. Whatever planet that exists on, I'm going to make it my thing to cleanse it in nuclear fire. Yep.
I love, but some people might find creepy. I don't know what's wrong with them.
What's wrong? Nope. Okay.
The thing that I enjoy most about the game is the freedom to be...
Is that a fishbowl? It's the only way to be sure, Tessa, yep.
Who you want to be, do what you want to do.
It's pretty killer,
it's
man.
It's what you've
it
come
looks
to
really
expect
good.
from a Bethesda title, but on a much bigger scale.
On behalf of all of us, we can't wait for you to play Starfield.
Can you nuke a planet? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, probably not.
This
space shuttle. Oh, the other thing, real quick. I want to point out, there's some interesting production going on here. Now, fellas, you guys, a lot of you guys know me from engineering and stuff. The funny thing is that I went to a film and media school. I have a computer animation degree, so I know about lighting shots, 3-point lighting, types of lighting, different moods, different focus on the camera, like why you would go with different types of shots, rule of thirds, etc., etc. We learned all of it for rendering 3D geometry, right, and doing renders and stuff, and photography. That's cool. just like they cut Fallout 76 out of the camera, I want to point out that it's very interesting that this part where they're showing off the stuff that you can buy is a very, very well lit shot. Very, very warm lighting. Think almost hospital lighting. Like some of these shots where they're showing off what they've made are so blown out and overlit. It's designed to ease the mood. Seriously, watch some of these shots when they're showing the watch and stuff. Look at how overblown that shot is. You see how the edges of the watch are fuzzy? Look. Look at how blown out this shot is. See how it's fuzzy around the edges there because the shot is so ridiculously over backlit, and they're using, dare I say, mood lighting here to make this not as weird or to try it. Like, dude, isn't that funny? Look at how blown out that shot is. Look at the top of Todd's head. It's hilarious. Either that or I'm reading too much into it and they just decided to shoot that in the theater or whatever. So how many watches you buying? I'm not buying it, but it's really cool. That actually is pretty neat. I'm not buying it though. It's neat because that looks like an Apollo surface sample kit. They said it's inspired from Apollo. It looks like the aluminum cases that they put the moon samples in. It definitely looks like it. It's really cool. It's very, very much, as they said at the beginning, NASA punk. Also bungee cords. I like the rotating mechanism. It's very cool. They definitely took some inspiration from the Apollo CSM hatch. Like once again, look at how overblown this shot is. You generally don't have lights behind people like this. Backlighting is generally not good for a good shot, but see how overblown it is? I think that's really funny. And see the crazy depth of field that they have going on here? Also, that's really that is actually pretty damn cool. But if they wanted to go real Apollo, this would have to be billet aluminum. Someone's going to make a billet aluminum version of this, aren't they? The case is freaking cool. The watch is meh, but the case is rad. Like, dude, look, once again, look at how overblown this shot is. I think that's really funny. They overblow the shot with really, really warm lighting to... It's mood lighting. That's on purpose because they're trying to lessen the blow of selling you something, which I think is hilarious. Dude, that's like production 101. That's really funny to me. Right when he opens the box, it looks like the watch is missing. Yeah, exactly. Ethereal lighting. Yeah, exactly, doctors. You notice that? I looked at this shot. I'm like, why is it so blown out? I totally got distracted from what they were saying, but when I first watched the trailer, I kind of realized it. I'm like, this shot is so overblown because they're trying to lessen the blow of trying to sell you something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could be wrong, but that would be really funny. That would be wicked funny. Dude, see what I mean? How overblown and how well lit this shot is? Like, it's unbelievable. That's why all Apple stores and ads are all white. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like hospital lighting almost. You guys know that hospitals are always really, really well lit? Well, one, that's because it's a hospital. You have to be precise. You have to have well lit areas so you can see what you're doing. Second of all, hospitals always have mood lighting like that. It's always greens and whites, like really, really light pastel green and white in a hospital. Like almost like a kitchen, almost, right? That's on purpose. That's designed to ease the mood. That's designed to make people not panic. I'm dead serious. People have like visceral reactions to different colors and lighting, hence mood lighting. How do you scrub a YouTube video frame by frame? The caret keys, dude. Now, the controller and the headphones are cool. They don't really do anything for me. The case was cool, but that honestly doesn't do anything for me either. It's cool, but yeah. I mean, I'm not playing this on a controller. I think that would be funny playing it on a controller. Also, in the ship designer, when they paint the ship black, that's really bad for thermals in space. In real life, I understand it's a game. You paint the ship the way you want. I get it. In real life, you notice how this NASA punk style that they're going for, it looks like the ISS almost. But this one kind of doesn't because it's not very well lit. But everything is white. A lot of things, like most things on spacecraft, are either white or metal because of thermals. Spacecraft, and this is just nerd stuff here for a second. Spacecraft, it's really hard to get rid of heat in space because there's nothing to convect to. There's no atmosphere around you because you're in the vacuum. So everything ends up being about as thermally, not resistant, but as thermally reflective as possible. That's why, like the Apollo landers, like tinfoil, and it's painted like white, tinfoil, like Mylar wraps, and just bare metal, because they're trying to reflect the heat, because there's no way, well, not reflect the heat, that's not the right way to say it. There's no way to get rid of the heat, so you try to not absorb as much heat as you can from the sun, because the spacecraft is already having trouble getting rid of its own heat. Now, how do they do that? How do they manage it in real life? They use black body radiation and radiate heat through the infrared spectrum, which is really cool. That's really interesting stuff, like how the radiators on the ISS work, for instance. But yeah, that's why everything is painted white for thermals. That NASA punk style, they definitely looked at shots of the ISS and inside of the space shuttle to get these environments. Really, really cool. If you have a spaceship that's painted black, it will absorb all the heat. And on top of trying to get rid of the heat that's already on board, you're absorbing the heat from the nearest star. And yeah, the ship will melt from the inside out. Yeah, not good. The ship customizer looks amazing. Talk me out of pre-ordering. Don't pre-order it, 2020. Don't do it. The game looks good. It looks good. I'm telling you, it looks good. I'm tempering my expectations. On any other occasion, I'd be hyped out. I'd be hyped out of my mind for this, but don't. Vote with your wallet, dudes. We've been burned before. Don't do it. No, landlord, I haven't. Here's what we do. I'll buy the game, fellas. I'll buy it. Watch me play it. Make your own judgment. That's what streamers are for. That's what we're here for. 76 look good too. Now, to be fair, they have fixed 76. I've heard it's a lot better, but platypus. Dude, the ship customizer is amazing. Isn't this going on Game Pass anyway? Yeah. Did the shuttle have to radiate heat? Absolutely, Phone Sister. The radiators are on the inside of the payload bay. Actually, with the space shuttle had to open up its payload bay doors. It was like one of the first things that they did once they would go for on orbit in a mission, entering Ops 200 of a space shuttle flight, so on orbit operations. Space shuttle flights were divided into three kind of phases, basically. You have 100. 100 is launch, like getting up to launch, getting into space. Once you get into space and the shuttle mission is declared go for on orbit, you enter the 200 operations. 200 operations in the Space Shuttle manual are anything that has to do with on orbit. So using the crane, using the radiators, blah, 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 blah. One of the first things for Op 200 is opening up the payload bay doors. You have to. If they couldn't get the payload bay doors open on the shuttle, it would have to come back down within probably a couple hours. Hopefully there's a runway, because if the radiators can't radiate, the shuttle will melt itself from the inside out. Oh yeah. No, sequels. No, I'm not doing that. Now, guys, if I play Starfield and I play it on the first day and it's awesome, buy it. Seriously. But I'm telling you, this gameplay trailer kind of sold me. It kind of sold me. It's I'll play it. Yeah, we'll play this. I'm telling you, it feels like Star Wars Galaxies with jump to light speed built into it. And maybe I'm just pining for nostalgia and that's affecting my judgment. That's entirely possible. But it looks pretty good, man. Would you play a SpaceX video game if there was one? There is a SpaceX video game, Clayton. The SpaceX Docking Simulator. It's a web game that SpaceX coded using their using the UI from the Dragon capsule where you dock to the ISS. It's actually pretty good. Still on the drugs from the dentist? Yeah, maybe. Especially being single player, there's nothing to get ahead by pre-ordering. Yeah, exactly. My old college roommate was a diehard Fallout fan. Pre-ordered the collector's edition of 76, took it back the same day of release. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, yeah, the space shuttle had to deploy the radiators. It had to. And even on board. So actually, during the early shuttle missions, there's 4 radiator panels on the shuttle. So there's 2. There's 2 on the front, and here, I'll just open up the manual. I'll show you. There's 2 on either payload bay door. The cool thing is that, yeah, there they are. The cool thing is that there's 2 panels on each payload bay door. See it right there? And they can articulate. They can articulate actually independently of the payload bay door. So the payload bay door opens, and then the front 2 panels can actually move back and forth independently. So you can get a better angle for radiating the heat. That's the Shuttle Haynes manual, by the way. Interesting thing is that the early shuttle missions, the radiator coolant loops on the shuttle the radiators were in series. Believe it or not. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2 going down the port side of the payload bay, 3, 4 coming back up the starboard side of the payload bay. It was a coolant loop in series. That meant if there was a micrometeorite strike and you punctured one of the panels, immediate mission abort. It never happened, but immediate mission abort. The radiator panels only got dented by micrometeorites. They never got punched through. But just in case, I think it was in the 90s, they changed the coolant loop system on the shuttle to be in parallel. So the 2 front panels are on their own coolant loop and the 2 back panels are on their own coolant loop. So a radiator puncture wouldn't basically screw your entire mission. Yeah, fun fact. Just removed it from the wish list. You can wish for it, 2020. That's fine. But guys, just be careful. It looks good, man. Like, I wouldn't sit here and show you it if I wasn't interested, you know? And I'm not trying to shill for Bethesda. There's been no monetary exchange here. But it does look pretty... Dude, it looks pretty good. Can the shuttle land with open radiators? Open radiators. Well, Sailor, the radiators are on the inside of the payload bay doors. So they have to close for it to fly correctly. You can't land with the payload bay open. That would be very bad. Do you have the Haynes manual for the ISS? I do not. I think they're working with Microsoft, Deadscum. I don't know if Microsoft acquired Bethesda, but they were shilling the Xbox stuff pretty hard, so maybe. Could somebody bring me up to speed? With loose payload bay doors. No. A Sailor, yeah, no. If the payload bay doors don't latch, you got a big problem. Fortunately, they never had a problem with the payload bay doors, ever. Microsoft owns Bethesda outright. Why did they not go back to the moon? Jackie, I want to pretend like there's some really awesome reason why NASA, like some crazy, like aliens reason why we didn't go back. It's literally money. It's so stupid. It's literally, it's money. It really is. It's money. That's the reason. And the political willpower to do it. Nobody had the charisma. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that no president has had the charisma since Kennedy to do something like this, but you know, we have to make it a national priority, and the people have to get behind it. You know, which is why I do what I do here. I mean, I'm not gonna say I shill for NASA. NASA doesn't pay me anything, but you know, NASA's funding is directly tied to public perception. If people let their representatives, you know that they think NASA's a waste of money, guess what? But, I mean, NASA's working on it now with the Artemis program. They'll be back. They'll be back to the moon. 2024. At least for orbiting around the moon. We'll land maybe 2025, 2026, somewhere around there. We should have been landing next year, but COVID basically slowed down spaceflight progress by I don't know, about 2 years actually. So it's 2026. 2026 would be my bet. But yeah, we're going back. We're going back. We finally have the willpower to do it. I mean, and once again, I'm thinking Elon is the one that kind of did all that. I mean, it's not him completely, right? But space is cool again. Spaceflight is hip. That's like the cool thing to do. When I was in high school, people were just like, man, space is cool, right? But nowadays, kids love this space flight. No, it's kind of re-entered the public conscience, which is great. That's really good. That's good, and it's no coincidence that, you know, now that we're here doing this, that we're going back to the moon. It's pretty sweet. Now, you know, space is big. SpaceX launches almost on the daily, which is awesome. We watched that launch last night. That launch last night was sweet, dude. Really good. I think Kerbal has a lot to do with it, Nova, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Falcon 9 and Starship, but yeah, I mean, I prefer to err on the side of positivity. You know what I mean? Elon, I'm going to the moon and Mars. NASA, can we get a lift? Did you see Booster 9 rollout? I saw the highlight reel, Cryolox, on the NSF channel. Yep. You're going to do Apollo real time for the lunar landing in a couple hours. Yeah, Andy, we might do that. But yeah, going back to Starfield, guys, I think Starfield looks really, really good. It looks like fun. Once again, it reminds me of Jump to Lightspeed and Star Wars Galaxy's pre-EMU, which makes a lot of sense because here, hold on. What's that guy's name? Bethesda hired one of the lead developers for SWG back in the day. Like, it was when Fallout 76 came out. Hey, Leglander, thanks for the raid, buddy. I hope the story quest and the side quests make sense and are engaging. That, to me, is the biggest factor in a single-player game. I mean, Canadian, you know, we can say what we need to say, but Bethesda usually gets that right. They didn't get that right in Fallout 76, but they rectified that, I suppose. But doing the side quests and stuff in 76 is not 76 in 4, and doing the side quests in Skyrim and stuff that's usually something they do well. But I do like how in Fallout 4 we could just do what we wanted. Like, if you guys remember, like, I mean, this is gonna be going way back, so you'd have to be watching for a long time. I mean, I've been streaming the better part of a decade, right? Like, this was back in 2014, 2015, or 2015 when Fallout 4 came out, right? They, we didn't play the story. We didn't play the story when the game came out because, you know, some people couldn't buy the game, so I didn't play the storyline. I just went and did my own thing. I went and hunted for power armor. I scoured the entire map for power armor, and we ended up having like 30 or 40 suits of power armor and not doing one single storyline quest. I made a settlement, and my settlement had an armored house. You walk in the armored house, it looked like a Space Marine dropship in there. You know, that's and then, dude, yeah, and then the Contraptions DLC came out, Toasted. You remember that? And we made a factory. We were playing Satisfactory in Fallout before Satisfactory existed. I have over 200 hours in Fallout 4, and I never went to the Institute. That's cool. That kind of thing where you could just go and do your own thing. I like that, and it seems like Starfield is really going to emphasize that. So, you know, I mean, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. You know what we're doing when the game comes out? I'm going ship hunting. I'm going to get my ship, and we are going to do with spaceships what we did with power armor. Straight up. Hey, my outpost will be like Watto's junkyard, huh? I just happen to have a chance cube. Blue, it's the boy. Red, his mother. And no one else has a T14 hyperdrive, I promise you that. In a nutshell, what was the problem with 76? Fallout 76 was supposed to be an MMO Fallout game, Wreck-It Rob, and it ended up not being an MMO. Fallout 76 really ended up having the same types of problems that GTA Online has. Not in the way of cheaters, but GTA Online is kind of not, it's finite. It has finite scalability because you're still using peer-to-peer networking. There's no dedicated servers. You know, and because of this, it's a really clunky, great, it's multiplayer Fallout, and that's awesome, but it ended up being really clunky. I will say that them combining Gamebryo and splicing it with the Quake engine is actually a pretty awesome piece of software, and you can definitely see that the Gamebryo engine for Starfield, the combat, they're like, oh, our combat is a lot more crisp. It's crisp because they literally spliced Quake. They spliced the Quake engine with Gamebryo, with the Bethesda engine. They scrapped the Gamebryo combat system and put Quake in, which is what they did during Fallout 76. But the other thing is that Fallout 76 was supposed to come with Fallout 4. They didn't finish it in time. Interestingly enough, Fallout 76 was supposed to be an expansion for 4, and it was supposed to come out basically right with it. So you could play multiplayer, you could play Fallout 4. And that ended up not happening. And that's why, like, less than a year later, they came out with 76, because they had finally finished it. And that's part of the reason why 76 was like such a fiasco at first, because it literally just seemed like an expansion, a multiplayer expansion for Fallout 4, which is basically what it was. Like I said, I will say that Bethesda splicing Gamebryo with Quake for better combat and better multiplayer netcode and stuff is, yeah, that was actually pretty impressive. But they didn't get it done in time. They could have launched it as DLC. Sun Temple, they should have launched it as DLC, but somebody at ZeniMax disagreed with that. It was basically not complete. It was basically an expansion being sold as a standalone game. There were no NPCs in Fallout 76 at all. Like, no vendors, crafters. Like, they were trying to do a player-based economy. But the thing is, you can't do a player-based economy when you have 15 people on the damn server. Heck, you couldn't even do a player-based economy with 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people on the server. That doesn't work like that. For a player-based economy to happen, like vis-a-vis Star Wars Galaxies, right? Star Wars Galaxies had an entire player economy in it. The prices of resources were denoted by supply and demand in the game. And the supply and demand was denoted by the developers moving around resource deposits randomly on planets. So they made that so nobody, like, you basically mine out a deposit, and the developers would shift the deposit of nice materials somewhere else on all the different planets in Star Wars Galaxies. So you actually had to go out and survey constantly to get the best resources to make the best things. And that they drove a player-driven economy basically off of that. There was, like, credits could inflate, you could deflate currencies and stuff. There was demand for certain things. There was demand for better guns. Like, it was an entire player-based thing. But that happens. The only way that works is if you have like 2,000-3,000 people playing on a server. You're not going to do it with 20 people. You know what I mean? That's the way Star Wars Galaxies did it. There was a bunch of people on each server, right? So, thanks for the explanation. All I ever heard was it sucks. Rob, I played it, I played it once on stream. We had some fun with it, but it was fairly linear in terms of gameplay, right? Like once again, it's finite. Like, you do what you got to do, and then you're kind of like, all right. But I've heard it's gotten better. I've heard it from people that have played it, that have been playing it, that I trust with their trust judgment. Like, it's not just some random person that I saw in chat. Some of my mods still play it. They say it's gotten better, and I trust what they have to say. So I guess it's better. I mean, maybe we'll check. But either way, like, yeah, 76 was very incomplete when it came out. That's why Bethesda got so much crap for it, because everybody kind of, gamers are people that play video games. We're very skeptical of cash grabs. I mean, anybody here that plays video games knows exactly what I'm talking about. We're skeptical of cash grabs. You got to be careful, and that's why I'm saying don't pre-order Starfield. Like, I know it's kind of a dick thing to say if you work at Bethesda, right? And you're watching this, it's a kind of a dick thing to say, but we don't want to get burned by 76 again. And it kind of sucks because the developers, all the people that put their heart and soul into it, get the shaft from this if the game sucks. But we got to make sure that the expectations are managed so, it just doesn't turn into cash grab after cash grab, which is basically what it is. Like, take like Cyberpunk, for instance. Cyberpunk, you know what, man? I don't think Cyberpunk was the crazy next generation game that it was kind of touted to be, but I don't think Cyberpunk is a bad game either. Cyberpunk did have a lot of bugs in it. It wasn't really ready to go to be released, but shareholders, say, oh, well, I got to see an investment. We have to do this. We have to get profits. We have to get profits. We have to get profits. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against that, but that behavior, that incessant need to make a quick buck, is what made Cyberpunk release early and give it a really bad reputation. It's not a bad game. We played it. I put probably a good 150 hours into Cyberpunk on stream. Never really had a problem with it. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking, but it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I stopped playing 76 because griefers and eating, drinking requirements. Yeah. Sadly, that's the standard response these days. This game looks cool at heck. I hope it's not going to suck. Hey, Sebby. Did you see Cities 2 feature video series released so far by the devs? I'm excited, Simon. I keep up with their Twitter posts, but I haven't watched the videos yet, but I keep up with the Twitter posts. It looks quite good. Cities is, let's just say Q4 for this year, for this stream here, is going to get a little crazy, because Kerbal 2 is getting better. Starfield's coming out. Cities 2 is coming out. We're already like knee deep in Satisfactory Update 8 fun, and Derail Valley's amazing too. Like, there's a BeamNG patch that we still have to go check out. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be busy. September, October, November, December this year. No more wedding plans. Yeah, the schedule's opened up. Fired up Flight Sim again after like half a year. It's ridiculous how big the updates are. Yep. Stay away from Anno. I played Anno 2070 sequels. I don't know who developed Anno, but I'm pretty sure the people that developed Anno must have been like mining data from me or something. No, not. I'm kidding. But what I'm trying to get at is like Anno 2070 is a game that pushes all the buttons in my head constantly. Yeah, it's a good game, fun to play. By the way, did the truck perform well at the wedding? Ananas, I literally had no problems from Freb once during the entire wedding. I put probably about 200 miles on it. No problems. I still have no problems from it. It's fine. Yeah, everything works. It's fine. Turns out if you look over every single facet of a vehicle with a freaking microscope and you fix every single thing that you can find, it works fine. Interesting how that works. Do you have any video driving it? I don't have any video driving it, but we do have the wedding photos. Brimo posted them. Here. I can show you if you want. My wife. Here, take a picture. It freaking poured on our wedding day, dude. But yeah, there you go. That's up in the city, dude. Yeah. My wife. All the games you started streaming with all have a 2 now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude, made it up on the highway. I was doing a lot of shakedown cruises up until the wedding, and when I say made it out on the highway, I made it out on the highway like a couple days before the wedding. I took the truck out after a stream in the middle of the night, and I took it out on the highway that's near me, and no one's around. Like, you know, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I got onto the highway on the on-ramp and literally put my foot to the floor and did a pull with this thing, and it went. Probably got it up to like 70, 80 miles an hour. Like, don't get me wrong, that's the speed that everybody goes on that road. So I was just going with the traffic, the little amounts of traffic that were around. I just put my foot to the floor, and I buried it and just to see what happened. I was doing pulls up and down the highway from like 50 to 80 miles an hour just to see if we're gonna break something. And keep in mind, this is the highway right by my house, so if something went wrong, I could just easily get home, right? I checked all the lug nuts. Not making that mistake again. And yeah, she was fine. Dude, I could drive that thing up into the city. It's just fine. Make it to the P.O. box yet? I've gone to the P.O. box, yeah. I found a case of Mountain Dew in the P.O. box. A stream from the 59 probably wouldn't be the best, guys. Turns out that, basically a straight pipe exhaust with a muffler, it kind of drones a little bit when you're going down the highway. It's not the most comfortable ride around. We have to figure out some stuff with the steering. I think that old Toyota steering box that's in it is starting to go. I think it's starting to go. There's a lot of play in the steering wheel, so it kind of skitches down the road. And then I did get it up to like 80 miles an hour on the highway. I don't want to drive at 80 miles an hour with the steering the way that it is. Also, it does the thing that the Ferndale does in my summer car. Once you get 75, 80 miles an hour, the arrow starts coming into play and the truck starts skitching around like this. What's happening is a lot of low pressure is getting underneath the truck because it's a freaking truck. It's not supposed to go 75, 80 miles an hour. It's a truck from the 50s. Or not low pressure, high pressure gets underneath the truck and it starts lifting it. It starts unloading the suspension, so the truck kind of skitches around like this at high speed. You don't really want to drive it that fast. It really likes 55, 60 miles an hour. That's what it's like. So that's what is that, like 60 miles an hour would be like 90 kph, 80 kph, somewhere around there. It doesn't really like going much faster than that. Did you ever get my flat package? I have it, Arsenal. Yeah, it's right here. Is this the guy? It's coming from DC, right? Yeah, I have it. what's in it. I guess we'll unbox this real quick, but yeah. I just never got around. I haven't gotten around to open it, dude, because I've been really, really freaking busy. 100 kilometers an hour, Sevi, 60 miles an hour. Yo, my guy. Dude, it didn't even get that messed up. It's not crimped very much. That's awesome. It's pretty clean. ECMA, yeah, it made it. The Artemis 2 astronauts came by and gave us some merch. Got you some for them. Shame I couldn't send you the handshake. That's awesome, dude. I'm just making sure there's nothing else in here. No, okay, cool. And then Aqualex sent this. It's a high. What is this? High Wings audio insulator, which is cool. And I got a case of Mountain Dew. Not sure what the reason for the Mountain Dew was, but still cool. This is awesome, man. I got something that I haven't gotten around to do, ECMA, is actually like hanging pictures in my office. The walls are just basically bare in here. It's just an empty room with a computer in it. I should probably start hanging pictures and trying to make this place look semi-respectable. But yeah, thank you very much, man. I do appreciate it. Police search for suspected lioness roaming the Berlin area. What have you done? Still need that photo of you with the Sam Adams and the aviators as an emote. Yeah. Did you bring the books? Tess, I told you I haven't. I keep those books by my bedside with my Rocket Propulsive Elements book and Modern Engineering of Liquid Fuel Rocket Engines. I have all that stuff just chilling by my bed because I caught up on some reading while I was down for the count. So, yep, you need a man cave now that you're married. I mean, I got a stove too, by the way. Found a gas range for next to nothing. Picked that up. Also, S-Master's broken flex plate is right there. You guys want to see something funny? Here, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll show it to you over here. Here, hang on. Yeah, see this? See this like going on right here? Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. If anybody knows anything about flex plates, that's not supposed to be loose. That's not normal. XJ, I still don't really understand how this thing stayed together. S-Master doesn't live near me. He lives down by New York City, right? And so first of all, S-Master he took the wedding photos, that wedding photo that I just showed you. He took that. And because the wedding photos were so good, I did the work to replace this for him. Didn't charge any labor or anything, but the labor was getting the thing up here. He drove a Jeep that's lifted on an XJ, a 97 XJ that's lifted on 33s to New York, up for the wedding, back to New York, and then 2 weeks later came up again with this cracked flex plate, and it drove it up here, and it made it. Like, I mean, this noise, the noise was awful, but it made it. It did it. With a broken flex plate. That's not really how that's supposed to work, but Get it. Yeah, now my hands are all dirty. Crap. It's okay. Sounds like it's basically wedged in there. Yeah, the way it cracked, it was jagged, so it ended up being a key. It ended up keying the flex plate. But yeah, it made it. Now my hands are super dirty. Oh well. Yeah, hotbox. Yeah. So. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, dude, I had the. I learned a lot about Jeeps actually. Learned a lot about XJs. I could take one apart if you need to. It's not too bad. It really isn't as complicated as it seems. S's Jeep has a 4-liter in it, and it's got an AW4 behind it with an MP231 transfer case. It's got Dana's front and rear, which is pretty cool. I think they're not lockers though. They're non-locker Dana. They're Dana. They look like Dana 44s. I didn't get that far because I didn't touch the front and rear end. I took the 2 drive shafts out, front and rear, transfer case, and the transmission out to get to that flex plate. Yeah, it's this is not a drill. Booster 9 is at the pad. Yeah, baby. So yeah, pretty cool. Has the computer burned out yet? That's a fun diagnosis. No, Tylen. No, not yet. Computer seems to be in good condition. Chopsticks are about to lift Booster 9, it seems. Well, let's change the channel here. Flip over to Starbase Live here. We'll switch it off the Starfield channel.